All right, what's good, everybody? Welcome to another episode of The Radar. I'm here with King John and Travis Tpefect. We also have Craig in the building with King Speech. And today we're going to do this one-on-one with this Kobe versus LeBron with Travis and King Speech. How y'all feeling today, boys?
Ready.
Feeling fine. So, yeah, I was trying to get on before y'all. I'm just settling my little one, and I'll be
All right. So,
ready in about.
are y'all ready just to jump into it?
Well, I gotta put my little one to bed real quick.
We'll kick it. So.
All right. So I'll be ready about 5 to 10 minutes. Is that okay?
Sure.
All right.
That's cool.
All right.
All right, so what y'all feel about these Lakers
watching another thump on the Clippers right now?
Yeah, I'm literally watching it right now. This is normally how I watch basketball without sound on. So
Kawhi Leonard cannot win no game sevens. How many times I gotta tell you that?
Well, hey, you remember the last time he played Denver in the game 7? It didn't work out very well for him. So
no.
I don't think he ever won a game 7 besides
the Philly game 7.
The Philly.
Yeah. Nuggets all the way. I mean, I don't think they'll beat.
You forgot the team they playing. They from the
yeah, it was like who are they playing?
They ain't played in so long.
But dude, if somehow Jokic went all the way this year, like he would be the GOAT. Or I don't know, he would be at least top 10. But how do we feel about the Lakers? Brandon asked. I mean, I thought that they might win, but I knew that Minnesota had the deeper team, right? Like they had I said that if their bench came through, their bench would have to be clutch, and they were. They were all time. Like they had.
When y'all gonna admit AD was right?
AD was right. Yeah.
I mean, for one, the Lakers had a better team. They just didn't perform well. Luka and LeBron didn't really play as well.
They had maybe the better starting lineup, but I mean, they couldn't guard. They couldn't guard a closed safety.
Lakers should have won in 5 if they had Anthony Davis. Like I said, as soon as the trade happened, they're not going to make it as far.
I mean, a big man because he complained we didn't have a big man just to go in the off season and look for a big man.
Yeah, I mean, Luka can't guard a traffic cone, and like he was getting exposed by Jimmy.
To be honest, me, Craig, and Travis, we both was confused by what they were saying about how they were going to be a better team defensively. So I know John was on that better defensive team defense crap that I just didn't understand. I would never understand how someone could watch basketball and think that's possible, that they were going to be better defensively.
It was good. It's good to see you disagree with your your channel mates over there because boy, I mean, I didn't see it either. Like how. Yeah, I mean, these guys did an 8-hour live on AD not being a defensive anchor. I was flabbergasted.
Me, Craig, and Travis been saying this for months. That didn't make any sense.
Yeah,
and it's weird because
it took the playoffs to prove it. You know, it took the playoffs to prove it. To have a team that sees them.
Was someone taller than 6'10" to prove it.
Well, you know, in the playoffs, like you're gonna get exposed if you don't have rim protection. Like Rudy Gobert had like a career game. Like if AD was there, he would have had it.
Yeah, but to be fair, like he averaged 3 points a game the first 4 games, so he should never have been a factor. He should have never been a factor.
They were just crashing the basket the entire time.
He can't even make layups. So they
were getting whatever shot they wanted. They were
the Timberwolves tried to lose Game 5.
McDaniels was bowling his way. So was Reed. So was Ant-Man. They were just walking to the rim, like
All I
no
know is if
resistance.
Michael Jordan had a game where he was 0 for 11 and a 3-point line, 5 and 19 from the game, and his team still won, we would not be hearing anything about Michael Jordan playing a good game. Just gotta throw that out there.
I mean, you know,
We would
But
never hear
that's
him playing a bad
but
game.
that's
I
not true.
mean,
That's not
what wasn't Jordan like like like
He ain't never had no
6
0
for
for 11 from
20
3-point
in a
line.
game 6 they won
he
versus the
never shot
Sonics?
11
Like
pointers in the game.
no one cares.
Yeah,
Nobody cares about nobody cares about if Jordan didn't shoot well just as long as he
dude,
won.
Julius Randle showed up too.
So
Julius Randle was
he
huge.
could have won
Yeah, that's gonna be the
2
next
for
thing.
20
Who
and they
really
won.
won the trade? The
So
Knicks or the Wolves?
Julius Randle
I always say that I'm a Knicks fan here. It was a
Julius
wash. It was
Randle
like
did
both teams.
exactly what he could have done. So
Yeah, Julius Randle played well when he came back from
yeah,
since
he did
March
what he's supposed to do. Drive to the hole.
and
I
put that
mean,
body on you. Play that buddy ball.
Julius Randle had no reason but to not play well because he just drove to the hole. He didn't even have to shoot. And when he did shoot, he was wide open. Like they
Of
forced
course.
Julius Randle to average 25 a game.
Who's going to
They
cover him on
literally
the
forced him
outside?
to average
Luca.
25 a game.
Yeah,
Reeves was
Luca's
covering
Luca
him most
is
of the time. They just said, "Here, get 25."
Luca was so trash defensively. It
Luca
was literally
literally stood
affecting the
up
team.
and watched people drive by him.
Yeah, like I don't care if you're shooting threes. Like
Just
at
literally
four,
watch people drive past him.
yeah, it's like when you're basically 4-on-5 the entire game. I don't care how good you are defensive or offensively. It's almost not worth it, especially in the playoffs. Like you have to have some sort of presence, like, and it's plus like why didn't they play Jackson Hayes in Game 5? That was stupid. Like
I say
AJ
this:
was being
JJ
stubborn. He was
coached
being
like he didn't
stubborn.
want the players to take the blame. He knew his team was gonna lose. He was like, "Let me do some outlandish shit, so it'd be my fault and not the players. Let me
I
play a
mean, but
40-year-old for 2 straight quarters. Let me play a person that got traded because he out of shape for 2 straight quarters. Let me not play the tallest players on my team for a whole series." So everybody can say it was my coaching style. He was coaching like a player instead of like a coach. He wanted to make sure he wanted to take the blame for this. That's the only way I can see why he did what he did in his coaching. Nobody ever coached the way he coached. Not even a rookie coach.
they were the last like 3 minutes of the last 3 games. They was either tied or up, but they were so tired that they couldn't keep up because for some reason Darvin Ham tried to tell LeBron you cannot play more than 32 minutes a game because you're not going to be effective at the end of the game. And apparently that just
I'm
went
telling
out
you,
of
he
the
was
door.
playing, he was
That
coaching
just
like
went
a
out the
player.
door.
Ain't no how you gonna tell a player, tell me when you tired? I don't care. As a ball player, you ain't gonna never tell your coach to take me out.
Now,
Ron James
hey,
will easily
hey,
average
hey, Craig.
25
I have
points a
Never,
game
one
in
foot
32 minutes.
never.
wrapped
Yeah,
up. I'm good, coach.
Hey, Craig.
yeah.
When I played
LeBron will average
basketball,
20. Go ahead, Josh.
when I played basketball, if the coach told me to tell him when I was tired and I come out, I would have played the whole game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would have never told the coach I'm tired. Like who told the coach they're tired?
But
Nobody.
LeBron has to be a lot smarter than that because he know he can score 25 in 32 minutes. In 40 minutes, he's going to score less because he's exhausted. He needs to play 8
Person you
minutes a
trade
quarter at the
for who's
most.
known
He
for
just
not
needs
playing
to.
fourth quarters
well,
healthy.
Mm.
Position
I
for
think
fourth
LeBron's
quarters,
done
you
winning
gonna play
championships
for the
too. I mean,
third,
unless
fourth quarter.
they'll have the same team next year.
They had the same team. Like they could have easily managed this series better and won, but it just didn't
Yeah,
make any sense how they was coaching. And I knew something was wrong with LeBron when he could easily drive to the hole and score every time, but he was either too tired or something was wrong with him. And the last game, I guess he was hurt, but that game 4, he was exhausted. There's no way he could drive to the hole. Julius Randle was just walking to the hole at the average, just walking to the hole because they're not playing 45 minutes a game.
yeah.
They
Plus they're
actually
not
come
40.
out and drink and get some water, drink some water, sit down. And
Well,
LeBron, he cannot do it. No one
yeah,
on that team could play 40 plus minutes a game.
Hey
that's
Billy,
fine.
do you think if he was hurt, he told the coach to keep me in the game because if he gets cold on the sideline, he can't get back in the game?
I mean,
Because
he
when you
played the last 8 minutes hurt though. That's the thing.
because when you hurt, when you once you go to the sideline, especially with a knee injury, and you
I
sick,
mean,
you ain't coming back in. It's a wrap. I've had a knee
I,
injury before. It
I
once
mean,
I
like
sat down, it was a wrap.
to be honest, the last 10 minutes before he got hurt and the last 10 minutes after he got hurt, he played better the last 10 minutes when he was hurt for some
Yeah.
reason.
Yeah,
But
when he
he
was
like,
hurt. Mm.
yeah, like
Did the
I don't know how
The
they managed
games
that game so
the
bad.
games need to be managed
That's
better.
crazy.
And
did the
Yeah,
adrenaline wear off backstage? When they got to the back, because we saw him walk off the floor, there was no limp. Then we see the backstage footage, the locker room footage, and all of a sudden he's limping to limping to Savannah and then the girl he hugged and all that. I mean,
She was pretty thick.
what the girl? I mean, once you stop moving, it's gonna flare
I
up.
But
get
I mean,
we're just glad
adrenaline
that
wears off,
that's
right? Adrenaline wears off, but
uh,
we're
I don't
glad the
know.
whack ass Lakers are
that's
done,
sports.
so we can
We,
focus on the real teams.
because King's speech, you may just hear me say when you playing through when
no,
you
Yeah,
hurt,
that's,
and once
I,
you
I
sit on
get
the bench,
I get
it's
it.
a
I
wrap.
get
I
it.
mean,
Guess what?
it
It's the
happens.
real playoffs now. Lakers are done, like we all knew they would be. Fuck those bums, and it's time for Cleveland.
to
Let's
talk about
go.
LeBron, right?
What,
Yeah,
It's about time for you to talk more
what
about
is
LeBron.
really time for us is people really understand basketball because people paid so much attention to the Lakers. I just
yeah.
want to see what people say about the game now, and I just want to see what people say. I pay attention to people
Who
talking
won
about the
GM of the year this year? Did they give out those awards already?
LeBron.
I want to know who
No,
is general manager
I
of the
don't
year.
think they got Rob Lincoln. They're gonna give it to him.
All right,
will be
King Speech,
general
you
manager.
ready?
Rob Lincoln.
Yeah, I'm just about ready.
All
About
right.
ready. So,
Let me. So to answer your
Probably.
ghost question, we're just about to do the debate. We have the three judges here. We have King John, we have Billy, and Craig. So here's I don't know what disclaimer, guys, in the chat. This isn't about me and King Speech trying to convince you of their place all time. I think I'm saying that right, just like of their specific ranking. This is just to a one-on-one who's the greater, better player. Interchange
Okay.
those terms however you want. And we're
Okay.
going to do that.
All right.
And so we're going to do 3 5-minute rounds. Okay, and then at the end, and this is just like whether or not you agree with who's your better player or whatever, it's just about you guys in the chat too, but also the judges, they're just going to judge who made the better argument. They can still have their opinions or whatever, but it's just about the quality of the argument and whatever. I mean, obviously, we all have our opinions about these players, but we can set those biases aside and just focus on the substance of the material.
Sounds good.
All right. Do you want to go first, King Speech, or would you? You're the guest. You pick.
I can see the floor. I can see that. I'll go last.
All right. Who has a clock down there?
I have a clock on
You
my
need the
phone.
timer?
I can keep time.
Well, I'll be looking at the live timer, and then I'll
Okay.
set it myself. But yeah,
All right,
I'm
Billy. Well, just tell me when you're ready, Billy, and I'll do
yeah.
it.
You got two alpha dogs just going to battle, head to head, battling for the same things.
You can feel it. You can feel the energy. That's pure beauty. It's amazing.
LeBron James has taken over this game. James buckle up for Kobe. Kobe Bryant just shut completely. What a play. LeBron James all of a sudden has the same mentality as Kobe Bryant. Oh! LeBron James with no regard for human life. Kobe Bryant. How in the world did he do that? What did I just see? You just saw what Kobe does best. He put it in. What a shot from LeBron James. What a shot. I mean, you can't defend that. Are you kidding me? Oh! Up high, down hard. Kobe Bryant. Moment on your Expos. Here he comes. Gets it to LeBron for three for the win. Yeah! Kobe inside the three-point arc, fades and fires and hits at the buzzer. Kobe Bryant has hit a shot at the buzzer.
Brings a tear to my eye every time. Miles, set me leave 5 minutes. Okay, I guess. Okay, I'll go. Okay, so welcome to the debate, everyone. Now, this isn't going to be about me trying to tear Kobe Bryant down. Okay, this is just about me kind of setting the record straight about something we all know, where LeBron James is the vastly superior player, and Kobe's an all-time great, a legend, no doubt. No one's disputing that. But when people try to say that he's above LeBron or the GOAT, or that's just nonsensical take. And so the first round with me is going to be breaking down some things that we are already well aware of. And I just want to emphasize that the only argument that probably you're going to see here isn't going to be a basketball one for Kobe Bryant. It's going to be one that's because all the numbers, stats, and accolades and achievements are in LeBron's corner. Okay, but just as for the sake of a foundation, I'm going to break them down to you. Okay, just so we're on the same page. So obviously, just the basic stats. Okay, and I'm not really going to use totals because I just don't feel like I need to. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and say, okay, so LeBron from the top, all right? He's better than Kobe, and this is even if you go prime for prime. LeBron James, more points per game, assists, rebounds, steals, blocks. He was better, and this is just we're covering the offensive side of the ball right now. Okay, he shoots better from 2 and 3 collectively, much better from 3 actually. Okay, and so what about in terms of we just break down these two players' offensive skill sets? Okay, so Braun is one of actually 10 players in NBA history to have led his team for at least 10 straight seasons in points per game while doing so at a 50% clip or better. Okay, he's in elite company. The other 9 players are Kevin Durant, Shaq, Wilt, Kareem, Hakeem, Karl Malone, Adrian Dantley, and Mike and Dr. J. Okay, so he's in elite company. Kobe Bryant's nowhere near that just because of the efficiency issues. Okay, so then what about analytics? Analytics, I agree with a lot of you guys where analytics maybe isn't your cup of tea entirely, but they help put together the puzzle of a player's career, especially when you are looking at the consistency. Obviously, there's certain one-offs where somebody might have had a great season in one of these metrics, but when you are consistently dominating them, that really tells the story of how great of a player you are, and especially when we're going to repeat that throughout the night consistently. And LeBron is really almost second to none. Okay, so let's break it down here. LeBron has led in PER 11 times, including regular season and playoffs combined. Okay, Kobe 0. Okay, in fact, LeBron has actually led in PER in advanced offensive analytic an incredible 33 times. Okay, 33 times, including regular season and postseason combined, compared to Kobe's just twice. And Kobe only did twice in the playoffs. He led a VRP 2 years. So when we're talking about, and again, that second one was Michael Jordan with that, okay? So when we're talking about just from a basketball perspective, okay, who was the best, who got it done correct, or who got it done as far as the impact goes, then it's LeBron, and it's not even close, okay? Defensively, LeBron is actually, LeBron has a higher defensive rating than Kobe Bryant at 105 to 105.5. He's much better in the playoffs than Kobe at 103 to 106. Kobe gets worse in the playoffs. One of the only top 10 players who has done that. Actually, and also Kobe's actually the only top 10 player in league history to have a negative DBPM for his career. And LeBron actually led the league twice in that, or once, I should say. So, and also there were a number of seasons where the Lakers were actually giving up more points or fewer points when Kobe was off the floor than when he was on. Again, LeBron's held many top 5 defenses. So, I mean, if you're gonna make the case for Kobe being him better defensively, then there's really no case for that outside of just defensive selections. But the numbers don't support that. LeBron was a better defender, a better scorer. All the numbers support that. He destroys Kobe in all defensive teams. And this is, I mean, not defensive team, but all NBA teams, 20 to 15, and first team All NBA, everything. So this is just kind of a lump saying, okay, what are we going to do with these numbers? That really, this is the only comparison I can think of that somebody basically the numbers are this lopsided, and people will still try to argue for the player that is coming up short. I can't think of another as far as like being above this other player. So when I think of this, it's just really like there's no real argument for it. We've seen the numbers, we've seen the impact, we've seen the accolades and achievements. Okay, I'll go in the next round. I'll go over a little bit more of how lopsided it is, just to paint the picture, and then we'll go from there. But we'll cede the floor now to our other opponent and see what kind of a case he can make.
Okay. All right. Are we ready to start the clock for me? Or do I just jump into it? Or
All right, you go ahead and
okay.
go.
All right. So it was one stat that you named. The one stat you named, I believe it was leading the team in scoring with the high efficiency numbers. And I noticed that you named seven forwards and one guard. And I think this is one of the keys to understanding this. If you're going to use straight up numbers to use the debate about who's the better player, you got to realize that one was a forward, and he actually played power forward for many years of his career, especially the last 6 or 7, right? Kobe was a guard, and guards tend to have lower efficiency than forwards because of where they play on the floor, where they attack from. Kobe's attack was very, and this is the thing. I'm my all time status for again. I want to start by prefacing off. These were the 2 best players that I've seen their careers from start, and obviously LeBron is still going, but these are the 2 guys that I have ranked the highest, where I don't have to do research because I didn't watch basketball before their career, when their career started. So even Jordan, I wasn't watching basketball until '88. So this first 4 years, I have to go and research, what I've seen. And after that, I've seen all of his greatness. So that's one thing when you use efficiency numbers and defensive. I mean, the other thing about defensive and block plus minus and things like that, those numbers are, again, it's without context, especially when you consider, okay, many of those years had the Kobe drop off on bad teams with those Lakers because of his injury. The one thing when I make the comparison, I look at what their careers were concurrent. LeBron came into the league in '03. Kobe at that point was on the finals team with Shaq. His last year playing with Shaq, so that'd be the only year he played with Shaq with LeBron in the league at the same time. Before that, of course, the 3P, which again, there's a big debate on whose championships were there. Now, I just sat, one of the things I did to prepare for this bet, I looked up a few numbers. I'm not a guy who jams up with numbers because I'm never going to make my argument based off of numbers. I'm going to make my argument based off of basketball points that I might support with numbers. So one of the things that I looked at, I looked at the famous Shaq and Kobe interview where Shaq was the media guy pretty much, and it was a heart to heart. This is after their beef, their back and forth and this and the third. And these were 2 guys who competed together and dominated the league. And then they competed with each other after the league, after Shaq was traded. And one of the things to mention, one of the things to realize is that Kobe being 20, 21, and 22, essentially on those 3 championship teams, was a vital part. There was against one of the games against the Pacers in the finals. Again, the Pacers were a pretty good team, knocking on the door many years of the '90s. Finally got to the finals in 2000, but Shaq fouled out, and then Kobe had to bring that home. The clutch stats, and again, the clutch stats. I mean, Kobe was clearly the better clutch player because one of the things is like you could count on him in the fourth quarter. The clutch stats might say otherwise. See, this is where stats, if you make your arguments based on stats, you might not necessarily jive. To say this when we talked about where Kobe finished in defensive player of the year. Well, yeah, LeBron had actually, I think, 3 top 2 finishes. I believe he has 3 top 2 finishes for defensive player of the year. Here's the problem. The last one was famously 2013. He's now played 11 seasons. Prime, relatively injury-free, no catastrophic injury. Because one of the things I will do is kind of throw out Kobe's last 3 years. Of course, he was an all-star. Of course, he was just there to play out the string and help the Lakers rebuild in their rebuilding time. But Kobe was all NBA and all NBA defensive teams basically 10 years out of 11. And LeBron hasn't been there in 11 years. So again, I mean, not to say LeBron has not been a great defensive player. He has clearly dropped off. He has clearly dropped off in effort. And that's one of the reasons why, Kobe, again, the team success, the competition in the West, the fact that he, again, it was a 3-year low when they had to rebuild pro Shaq, but Kobe got back on it, won a back-to-back championships with the 3-peat. And that's the basis of my argument. I'm going to expand on it in the next round. All right.
All right, Travis, you ready yet?
Yep, all set.
As soon as you start, I'll start the clock.
All right. So, hey, I'm glad my opponent actually brought up context and the original Lakers 3-peat, because that's actually what I was going to touch on next. And he's right. Context matters. And he also mentioned clutch time scoring, but really didn't give you any numbers. And he said that it might be skewed in LeBron's direction, and he's absolutely right. So, clutch time scoring. Okay, during their entire playoff careers, during the final minute to tie or take the lead, LeBron is 23 of 50 for 46%. Well, Kobe is 12 of 44, 27%. 30 seconds, kind of the same story. Ron, 14 of 35, 40%. Kobe is 8 of 31 for 26%. So don't come at me with clutch time stats for either one of them. Ron annihilates Kobe. It's not close. What about the Lakers that he was talking about? And this comes down to kind of like the only thing they'll maybe hold over his head, which is the rings argument. We've already debunked that like tons of times as far as it goes, because no one wants Bill Russell to take the GOAT. But let's go ahead and talk about that Lakers team. So Kobe is the only top 10 player to have not won a Finals MVP during his first 3 title runs. Okay, he's one of only 2 top 10 players to have played with the current MVP and eventual Finals MVP the same year. Shaq, the same year they won a ring. The other is Kareem. Okay, Kobe's final averages are 25, 5, and 5 on 41% shooting, and 31% from 3. Compare this to LeBron's 28, 10, and 8 on 48% shooting, 35% from deep. And how about the Lakers squads? Okay, from when everything came together for the 2000 Lakers, that team had altogether a roster and coaching staff that had a combined collection of 17 rings and 21 finals appearances between them. Also, they that was a team that was led by MVP Shaq and maybe having a top 5 season of all time. And Kobe was chipping in with 22 points per game on 46% shooting. Compare that to the '07 Cavs, the first time LeBron made the finals, where no one outside of Eric Snow had any finals experience. LeBron was leading from the front, 27, 6, and 6, on roughly the same. So Kobe was, by all accounts, a bench rider and just basically a sidekick during his first finals run. Nothing taken away from him, but he was basically a non-factor, especially in the finals when he chipped in 15 points. And he was also missing he was also shooting his teams out of finals same or a few years later in '04. And I mean, so when we're talking about who's the best performer, just hands down. We could talk about context all you want. We could talk about narratives, but when rubber meets the road, LeBron is better in the postseason, better in the regular season, better on both sides of the ball, and these are things you can measure. Obviously, stats don't tell the exact story all the time, but when you're consistently better than another player in everything we just talked about, more MVPs, more Finals MVPs, more All NBA teams, better shooting splits all across the board, rather than free throw percentage, it's LeBron by a mile. And these aren't just stats that put him above Kobe Bryant. These are all-time great stats. He's number 3 in Finals MVP, and number 3 in total Finals or regular season MVPs as well. Kobe isn't doesn't sniff these. Kobe is like when we talk about all-time ranks, right? Let's take a fact. In fact, let's look at some of the all-time analytical rankings. And again, this is just a piece of the puzzle. Okay, so Kobe Bryant is 30th in PER. Okay, LeBron is 3rd all time. Box plus minus, LeBron is 3rd. Kobe is 32nd. Win shares for 48. LeBron is 9th. Kobe is 65th. Vorp, LeBron first all time, Kobe 14th. I get it. It's a cumulative stat. But that also just speaks to the consistency of LeBron's career, where he's just been consistently better than Kobe Bryant for a longer period of time, both from start and now to finish. I get it. Kobe was injured, but LeBron was great off the bat, pretty much. I mean, if you want to say their regular season or their rookie years were comparable, maybe, but LeBron was still better. Okay, so up and down, left or right, no matter how you watch it, LeBron was and is the better player than Kobe Bryant as far as accolades, awards, team impact, especially. Okay, winning, and he did it with arguably less help, especially during their championship runs, where he was the undisputed best player. Kobe was only that for two of his finals, and even in the 2010 finals, it was arguably Pau Gasol. Okay, so there's no argument you're going to make that's going to convince anyone that Kobe Bryant was better than LeBron outside of where you're talking about nostalgia or maybe a post game of some degree. But as far as just who was the better player in a measurable sense, who had a better team impact, who stacks up with the greats as far as winning goes, accolades, awards, everything that matters, including statistics, it's LeBron, and it's really not close. So the next round, what I'll do is I'll tie all this together, try to rebuke some of what else he's going to say, but we'll just leave it at that for now.
All right, whenever you're ready, I'll start.
I'm ready. So, two words you said: sidekick and non-factor. Sidekick and non-factor, and that really clearly really just doesn't tell the story. You also said he shot the Lakers out of the 04 finals. No, again, this is one thing that I watched with the 04, because that told a lot, because you get two of the greatest of all time, two top 10 guys sitting down together, and they're telling you what we thought basically from the time Shaq met Kobe. So Kobe breaks it down, and again, the triangle offense, and I think that this is a very real key, because the numbers that you see will be based on the fact that LeBron's biggest successes in LeBron's pretty much career, the offenses he were in was set around him. The triangle offense is really, like, they use the term the help, right? So in other words, they're trying to make everybody viable on the floor by basing the triangle. The three best players will be in a triangle, and everybody else will have residual offense off of that. So one of the things that what happened in the 04 finals, and again, this is one that I completely this is my black mark against Kobe all time. But the press that Larry Brown and the Detroit Pistons were using, and again, Shaq would be the guy one-on-one at the end of a lot of these plays, but the press that they were using slowed up everything that the Lakers wanted to do. So really, that was an issue of Larry Brown proving that he was a better in-game coach than Phil Jackson. But yes, Kobe played poorly in that series. But to say he shot them out of that, and he was a non-factor. And I'm assuming you're gonna say the first two championships. It's just not fair. It's not fair because, number one, again, they don't get to, and Shaq knows this. They don't get to the 2000 finals. They don't get to the 2001 finals. They don't get to the 2002 finals without Kobe Bryant. Shaq was the most dominant player since '92. For 10 years, he was the most dominant player. He had a great team in Orlando. He had Nick Anderson. He had the Bulls' number 3 player, and they got swept in the finals by a 5th seed Rockets team. It was Kobe Bryant and his greatness and the things that he brought. So again, the numbers will never tell you that Kobe was better. The PER, things like that, because Kobe was in his system, and he was a vital part of that system. And again, then the last two, again, a back-to-back championship, coming out of a tough West, playing tough teams in the final. I mean, if Orlando beat the 66-win Cavs, they were a tough team as well. Kobe dominated that team, shredded the same team that took LeBron out. And again, the help argument is always so. It's an argument that's used too much. I wish I had time to really, really kill it. But at the end of the day, if you said that LeBron will average 27 seven, whatever for the finals run, or whatever the numbers were. Because again, I'm not looking at them. You left out what his performance was in the finals, and his performance was putrid. Again, you're talking about he had more turnovers than assists. He had a 2 for 18 game to start the finals, a 11 turnover game. I mean, if we're going to get negative and say Kobe was a non-factor and a sidekick, well, I mean, at the end of the day, he's putting up sidekick numbers in his first final. Again, Kobe played in a system, and at that point, that system, he was a vital part of it to win 5 championships. You know, you really cannot, because one thing you did was you only used the final stats. Of course, when the matchup favored Shaq, when he's playing against Todd McCullough and old Dikembe Mutombo in 2 or 3 of those finals, yeah, you're going to dump the ball in the Shaq and just count and just take the ring. So not saying he didn't win the finals MVP, again, that's all subjective. I mean, look, Cornbread Maxwell won an MVP. Andre Iguodala won an MVP, finals MVP. You're going to take the ring and go on with it. You're not going to compete with your teammate. You're going to win the ring. And so, yeah, the numbers, the block plus minus, the PER, those numbers weren't set up for the way Kobe plays, because Kobe played his vital part of a system where LeBron has played, I want to say, his entire career with a system meant to get his numbers better. And, the sidekick and non-factor, that's crazy.
All right.
You guys ready for the last round?
Yeah.
Whenever you're ready, I'll start.
All right. So I think it's funny that, and this is just kind of my round. I'm just in a response to some of the things he's been saying here. It's funny that he's saying, he kept harping on, Kobe was the system, or Kobe was in a system rather. So he was sacrificing some things, and like his numbers weren't going to look as good. But being part of a system doesn't necessarily mean that it's going to affect your production to the point where it affects Kobe's, especially his efficiency. You have one of the top 2 most dominant players of all time, especially physically, basically running the offense through them, and yet you can't you put up abysmal efficiency numbers. And also, Kobe Bryant was leading the league in shot attempts per game during the playoffs. In several years, he was with Shaq. He wasn't in the system. He was taking over the system. He was playing outside of it. Again, he led the league in field goal attempts in the playoffs in 2004, again 2007, 2009, and he took 26 a game in 2003 with Shaq. Last 2 years with Shaq, he was basically led the team in shot attempts. Okay, and he was shooting low 40s. His best shooting ever all time was in 06, 07. And so Kobe was, I don't want to say that he was just an abysmal shot checker, because that's not true. He could take over. But again, there were games where he was just playing outside. Again, his first 2, he was shooting sub 40% from the field. Okay, what system are you talking about? The one where he just decides to shoot whenever he wants, where he's shooting 27 shots a game in 03? Like, what's the system you're talking about? Obviously, they have the triangle there, and Shaq was way more efficient. He just didn't need 1,000 shots to make an impact. Kobe did. Okay, that's the main difference between him and the players who are more measured in their shot taking. They play actually within the system. They're more apt to make a pass, like LeBron is. And so that's coming back to Kobe and again, this is just kind of a recap here, okay? Because Kobe was never part of any system that he helped maximize his team effort. To the contrary, again, what happened when he didn't have Shaq, and from like 05 to 07, he was actually shooting. He was leading the league in field goal attempts, and his team was abysmal. Okay, was that all on Kobe? No, but you can't tell me that Kobe would have taken a similar team and go to the finals like LeBron did. Okay, LeBron is maybe the 3rd or 4th greatest floor raiser of all time, arguably 2nd next to Jokic. But it's, when we're talking about the comparison between these two, there's nothing, not anything you said, not sacrifice of the team, not effect on the team, not critical play in situations. Like LeBron's finals performance overall blows Kobe's away. in every regard: points, rebounds, assists, efficiency, impact, impact on winning, team impact, doing it with less help, doing it with worse players. All this is stuff we can measure. And yes, I get it. You can't measure things like heart and grit and effort, things like that, but that doesn't translate to you being better than someone. Okay? It's all about what LeBron is and what he has been and what he continues to be, which is a transcendent player. Oh, is my time up? Sorry.
No, you still going. You got
Okay, I
another
was like,
40
okay, no.
seconds
So
left.
he's a transcendent player, and like I said, I would love for there to be an argument for Kobe Bryant. There's just not. Kobe's my second favorite guy after James Worthy, but you can't put him above not just LeBron, but other guys who are ahead of him as far as these very measurable things go. Impact, winning, again, accolades, achievements, just everything. Not even just analytics; it's the entire piece of the puzzle. You have to make a case for Kobe. You have to nitpick certain things. You have to talk about narratives. You have to talk about how this and that and the other thing does not matter to you. How you saw this and you saw this in his eyes. You saw his footwork. All these things we don't care about, and you shouldn't care about if you're unbiased when you're ranking players, because none of that actually matters when you're setting things aside and saying, okay, unbiased, rubber meets the road. Who do we have? Who did what during their career? What do their entire resumes look like? Kobe fans never want to talk about the entire resume when they go head up with someone like Mike or LeBron. They don't want to do it. They just want to talk about, again, what you heard here today. When you heard about context and maybe who they were playing and what kind of a system it was. When all of that doesn't matter, because when you put LeBron in those same situations, he excels. Okay. So there's no argument for Kobe over LeBron, and there never will be, especially because LeBron, might have another couple of years in him, and he's doubled basically Kobe's best years so far. And so, I mean, it's really not fair. It's not close, and I really hate having this argument because it feels like it's cherry picked and one sided, and I'd rather have something that was a little bit closer in order to hang my hat on. But anyway, that's that.
Right. Let me get it. Let me get it at 15. Let me wait till 15. All right, ready. So one of the things, and one of the things I wanted to base my argument is because it really isn't fair. Because if we do numbers, and again, I one thing I like to do is I like to say when they were in the same league, what did they do? Well, yeah, okay. LeBron won 2 championships. Kobe won 2 championships. Kobe got to an extra final. LeBron lost and lost 2 finals. Oh, actually, yeah. So he lost 2 finals. No, actually, he lost 3 finals while Kobe was in the league. Again, I'm kind of throwing out Kobe's non-prime, those post-Achilles years, because it really, I mean, one year he played six games, the other one he played 35, and then the last one where he played 60, he had the famous 60-point game. All right. So again, let's look at it. Let's look at it. 2007. I mean, 2000. Yeah, 2007. LeBron played in the finals against the San Antonio Spurs. And one of the things that are thrown out there is, well, LeBron had no help. He was young, blah, blah, blah. Well, again, his finals performance was abysmal. He was 35.6 from the floor. And again, a lot of people, including myself, will throw that out saying he was young. He didn't have much help around him. That team wasn't experienced. Like you said, Eric Snow, the only person with finals experience. Does that really matter? Does that matter? Because again, then he had the finals experience in come 2002, 2008, and he came out in the first 4 games against the Boston Celtics, and he shot an abysmal 23% from the floor in the first 4 games of that series. He wound up shooting again 35%, considering his last series against a quote unquote juggernaut team with a bunch of all stars or whatever. He shot this. He had a similar performance. Again, when you look at the situation, well, again, if you want to kill Kobe for not being as efficient as Shaq, see, one of the things you use is the 0-2 where he led the team in shots take. This is not the point. See, this is the point. Like at this point, people will say that Allen Iverson was an inefficient player, not understanding that Allen Iverson was his team's offense, that he played on, and this is similar to what LeBron was in Cleveland. Again, LeBron's efficiency numbers now completely go up after 08, after 09, when he decided to, well, you know what? I'm not going to take the mid-range. I'm not going to take the. Kobe never believed in that. Kobe never believed in the analytics. I watched that interview. Kobe saw the game a lot different. Did the shots that I don't take hurt my team? LeBron wants, LeBron wants the efficiency numbers to be up, and that works for the team. But some of his teams have famously underachieved because there was the fact that LeBron's career is still going on. It gives me some things to look at. This past series, they lost in the first round. Again, it's just I picked the Bulls to win, and there's a couple of reasons why. But that team with LeBron on it, with Luka on it, they scored 85 points in 5 fourth quarters. That's 85 points in 60 minutes of basketball in this era. And as we know, because of the misuse by JJ Redick, and again, he's 40. I get it. Kobe was finished by 40, right? Kobe, at the end of the day, Kobe was finished by 34 because of the injury. But he's 40. This has been a theme of LeBron's career. And at the end of the day, right? If you're the all-time great, if you played in the 10 finals, you have to take the reins and say, you know what? I'm needed more in the fourth quarter. You got 85 points by a team led by LeBron or led by Luka, whoever you want to say it's led by. And that's in this era of basketball where they score 150, 120, you see 150 points regularly. That's about 67. I'm doing the math in my head, about 69 in the most important part of the game. So when clutch stats, and I'm talking about clutch stats in the last 30 minutes, Kobe was great. Kobe would kill teams in the 6 minutes to go in the fourth quarter. That's clutch. It's not about just because, again, a lot of these shots that LeBron take as a forward, as a 6'9" forward, are going to be at the rim, where Kobe's is going to be a perimeter. So those are going to skew the numbers. He was a less efficient Jordan. We get it. He was a less efficient Jordan, but he played in a more defensive era. If you take the numbers in context, if you take the 35.7 in context, well, yeah, look at the league-wide scoring. If you fast forward to this era, you just did that. Kobe would be averaging 40-something points, and I hate to make that argument, but it goes. You have to go to show it. I don't know what my clock is. All right, okay, there we go. All right.
Hold on, I'm doing my notes.
Hey, good job, T.
Yeah, man. Good job to you too, for sure.
Handshake. You know what's crazy about this? I don't know if we just because what's crazy about this. Kobe was not my favorite player. Kobe was my least favorite player. It was and I'm not trying to. I don't know if I don't want the dead air. I don't know, like on my show, I don't like that dead air. But Kobe, Kobe was a heel his whole life to me until 2013 when I saw him. And this is a great part. This is what ended his career. I wish I could have got this point in the debate because, Kobe, he had to carry that team. And again, that's one of the things why I was like, oh, yeah, that team's supposed to be a favorite, blah, blah, blah. And they were awful. But then Kobe had to say, okay, Steve Nash, you can't guard anybody. I can't count on I thought Dwight Howard would at least be the lazy version of Shaq. And he wasn't that. And Kobe said, let me take this team on my back and get them to the playoffs. The night before
Kobe seasons.
Yeah, the night before he tore his Achilles, they played Golden State. He had 45 points, and then of course the Achilles. I think he was at 30 something, 31. He hit the 2 free throws. He was terrific, and to me that was the last game of Kobe's prime. That was
and like I said, Kobe's a great player. He's one of the all-time greats, but he's not in LeBron's league. But let's go ahead and let our coaches sound off. You guys can go in whatever order, or judges, I should say.
You go in 1, 2, 3. Craig, you up, Craig?
You can do it. You can do it round by round if you want, Craig.
I mean, it was a good back and forth, but my thing with speech is You didn't say why you believe Kobe was better than Braun. You just gave us why you people shouldn't believe Braun is better than Kobe. I would like to have some more
I got you.
stats and stats and to back up some of your claims, because the only stats you gave us was stats on LeBron. But
Well, yeah, those were my counters. Yeah, those were my. Again, I don't make argument based on stats, and that's my thing, right? So I always try to come.
LeBron.
Yeah,
You can't say you don't make arguments against using stats, and then you use stats to use your argument against LeBron.
but
So
that would see. This is the thing.
too.
No, I got you. But that would counter the claims that Kobe was a sidekick or
Kobe
Kobe was a non-factor. You know, that's the. I mean, again, I'm coming with the argument, and you're right.
If you use the 3-pick socket, you could have used the whole 2001 run when he was putting up the same numbers as Shaq. You couldn't tell who was who.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
Stuff you don't be thinking about that until after the fact. So I get it. There's a lot of things you wanted to say and you don't realize it until after it's over.
And then the 5 minutes go quicker than you think.
Yeah.
So.
That's Craig for you. He heard too many GOAT debates that he already was taking points in his head about, okay. All right, John, you up.
I have it 3-0 with Travis. And I don't think it was a good back and forth at all. I disagree with Craig there. One thing, King, you had said that you was going to talk about them when they played together, they were both in the league together. You said, I'm going to talk about when they was in the league together. And then your next words was before LeBron got into the league. I believe you did a lot of contradicting yourself, because you did say in the midst of it, you're not going to talk about stats. And then on LeBron's side, you would talk about stats, but I don't think you said one stat about Kobe at all. I mean, you start talking about Shaq and things Shaq did in '92, and in midst of that argument, I forgot that you was talking about Kobe at all. You had a huge argument for LeBron. And I just wish you would have talked about Kobe Bryant more, and instead of listening to what Travis said, had something to say yourself about Kobe Bryant and just Kobe. Talked about the things Kobe did great, and what made Kobe special. Instead of even listening to Travis, sometimes I wish you hadn't listened to Travis at all, and just had your own argument and stood on that. So. That was my only thing. I wish you could have just stood on your own words and not worried about what Travis said. It made Kobe better than LeBron in your words, and that's it.
That's fair enough.
Hey,
I mean, I don't know if y'all was looking for feedback or anything. Yeah, this is my first time doing this type of format.
Yeah,
but. No, in my defense, again, I was trying to defeat the sidekick and the non-factor, because I mean, I think that at that point to say Kobe was a non-factor in those championships is in any given series, it was just crazy. So that's why I brought up the '92. Well, Shaq was dominating the league. Why didn't he win Why didn't he win a one championship, less known a three-peat, with the help that he had before Kobe? See, that's the thing.
How are you gonna win with Jordan in the league? That's the
I mean,
answer.
it was one season where Jordan wasn't in the league, and he had Penny, and he had Jordan was actually, they defeated Jordan, but he had Jordan's number 3, and he had Dennis Scott, and and they got swept. So my point is, when you say Kobe was a non-factor,
now.
Yeah, he was drafted in '92. Okay, obviously you're not going to win in '93, '94, but in '94, '95, he got his chance, right? Okay, but again, And then before Kobe took off, and they had some great seasons. And then when Kobe became Kobe, again they dominated the league. But when Travis called him a non-factor, now I'm trying to prove. And again, I could have came with more stats to show that. I'm not.
That's the point. You use the numbers. A sidekick don't average 31 in the playoff series.
And you know what? I was going at 2000 and 2001. I did say 01, I think he said 2000 and 2001. And again, it's crazy because you're looking at the finals when he only averaged 24. Again, the numbers. I probably off the top of my head, I believe he averaged 31 against San Antonio or 29, whatever it is, anywhere from 29 to 31. And that's to call it a non-factor. To call you a non-factor in a series like that, it's wild. You understand what I'm saying? But again, right, I'm not coming up with I knew that Travis was going to come with a lot of numbers, and I'm trying to put the numbers in because my whole argument is numbers with context, without context. That's why I bring up the Shaq. That's why I bring up
context. Just like you mentioned the 2000s. 2000s, you're right. 2000s was the hardest era in the history of basketball.
For scoring, yeah.
Really efficient. That's what you could have used. Yeah, Kobe was 40%, but the whole league you could have used that. Like,
I brought up the Allen Iverson point. How you can look at the numbers, see him 41%, but no, he was
the numbers for Kobe. You got to use Kobe numbers.
But that's me. I got you, and that's why I'm trying to bring in context because if you're gonna say, well, Kobe was largely inefficient and Shaq was more, well, Shaq shoots the ball from 3 feet. Of course, he's going to be more efficient than Kobe. That's ridiculous. I mean, again, Kobe's numbers. If you look at total shooting efficiency, and again, I looked at these numbers. They were anywhere from 55 effective field goal percentage, and then 58 effective. When it comes down to effective, total shooting percentage. So that, and of course, LeBron's going to kill him on those numbers because you're comparing the numbers of a forward to a guard. That's basketball 101. The guards are going to be less efficient.
Better numbers than Scottie Pippen.
I mean, again, and that would be me bringing in another player in it, but that's also adding context. If you're going to believe another player in the league is efficient with those numbers, but you got to realize, see, the way I look at basketball, the guard might have to shoot 40-something% to help the center shoot 60%. Kobe had to keep the dogs off of Shaq. Shaq had to face the double and triple teams. And so Kobe had to do his part and had to, play the hardest perimeter guy. So and that's why I brought up the 11, the 10 seasons where he was both all NBA, also top 5 MVP, and first team defense. He was first team defense for 9 times. He was 10 times in those same years where he was the top 5 MVP. He was also either first or second all-team defense, 10 out of 11. There's only 1 year where he didn't make it, and that was the year they were 34 and 48 the first year after Shaq. But, again, these are after-the-fact arguments. I'm not going to try to have y'all sway, but...
I mean, I know Kobe and LeBron's career, so I get what you was trying to say. I would just wait for you to say it.
Gotcha. And it's 5 minutes go fast,
but
bro.
You gotta when debates like this, you gotta treat the people you speaking to don't know who Kobe and LeBron is. So all I know, I could have been a guy, and all I know is that you don't think LeBron is better than Kobe because of what LeBron did, not because of what Kobe did.
Gotcha. I got you. I mean, and my assumption is we all know that they're, two of the greatest of all. And I preface it by saying, for me, what guy that started watching in '88, these are the 2 best players that I've seen from the beginning of their career. So anybody that started their career outside of, after '88, LeBron and Kobe are my GOAT. So, and that's how the players
get my take.
Oh yeah, we forgot about.
My fault.
About the last one. So in round 1, Travis went with the stats, advanced stats and accolades, why LeBron was better, which was, what you have to start off with. King Speech said he didn't want to use stats. He did talk about LeBron's late career, and LeBron's only efficient because of him being a power forward. LeBron's not a power forward, and Jordan is more efficient than most small forwards and forwards, period. And then he used Kobe had better clutch stats without using clutch stats. So Travis won. I think Travis won that round easily because King's Speech was just trying to get his footing. So the second round, Travis rebuted the clutch stats, and he went in on Kobe Bryant being a Robin. So this is when King's Speech went to the defense, like he said, talk about the '04 finals, how it was a good game plan, and the pressure that they put on Kobe. And that's was the reason why he wasn't efficient that series. And he discussed how Shaq would not have won without Kobe, which is obvious. And he discussed the reason why Kobe, would have won with Shaq and allow Shaq to shine when in the finals because he wasn't really going up against too many people. Kobe numbers was low because of the system, he said, but Michael Jordan played in the same system and he was very efficient, just like Jordan was efficient throughout his career. Um, he talked about Shaq's competition, how Finals MVPs do not mean much. It's all about the rings. So to me that was a lot of excuses by King's Speech to actually give him that round, but it was just a lot of excuses compared to Travis. You just went on the defense with Travis when he called Kobe a Robin. I mean, it kind of threw you off whack. In the third round, Travis went back in on how Kobe was inefficient. And he did discuss why it wasn't a system. He discussed how much Kobe shot the ball. And I know King's Speech brought up the advanced stats. He wasn't high in advanced stats because of the system he played in. But we all know Michael Jordan played in that system and he was at the top of all the advanced stats. So that
But
narrative didn't work. But he
see,
did
but here's the thing.
talk about
Okay,
uh,
I don't know. It's your judgment, but
go ahead.
I'm gonna just push back when I get a chance. I'm back.
Okay, but you did talk about the era that Kobe played in and how it was tougher, and that's why when you compare when LeBron came in the league with Kobe and when he left, um, you wanted to stick to that comparison between them, and you said LeBron won two titles to Kobe two, which LeBron won three in that span when Kobe was in the league, because he did win in 16 when Kobe's last year. You did talk about LeBron lost more finals than Kobe during that span. I'm not sure how that makes Kobe superior, but not make it to more finals. But you did hit on LeBron being inefficient. This is when you start using the stats. So LeBron was inefficient in the '07 finals. You talk about the first, I believe, 3 or 4 games of the 2008 finals, how he was very inefficient. Um, I guess you didn't talk about the last three when he averaged over 30, like 33 points per game. In game seven, he did have that 45-point game, so he picked it up towards the end. Um, you did say that people want to kill Kobe for not being as efficient as Shaq. I don't think people can expect Kobe to be efficient as Shaq. You said LeBron did start learning how to play until 2008 when he was 24. So you said that it took LeBron time to learn how to be efficient in the league. And then you did go in on how LeBron today shows you why Kobe Bryant was a better player. Uh, it's, I guess kind of hard to compare someone in year 22 and to Kobe's prime. Kobe's amazing. Uh, and you said if Kobe would have played today, he would average 40 points per game. So I don't know. That I would give that round a tie. Matter of fact, I would give it to Key's speech because he actually stepped up. So it was 2 rounds to one.
Well, I appreciate that.
Hey, I'll tell you this: Brandon is a liar, and he just lied to you. I don't know why he just did that. Hey,
Look,
I love the
look.
way Brandon just broke that down. And
Give him a round. I'll give him a round.
he gave you a participation award. That's what he
Hey,
just did to you. Okay,
I
and I love
participate. But see, okay, so now,
So it was so
again,
much better than
see,
the first two
now
rounds.
let
You
me,
gotta admit.
now let me.
You gotta admit.
Can I? And again, I realize I brought up I realized I brought up other players like Iverson, right? And I brought up Iverson because we look back and we say that Iverson was an inefficient player, right? And again, you look at him on the 01 team, all those Pistons, those Sixers team, but without Iverson, that team scores 69 points a game or some shit like that. So when you say efficiency, again, and I brought up the context of the league because, okay, right, if you're going to, with the year Kobe averaged 35.4 or whatever, right? If league scoring is at 96 and now league scoring is 115, if Kobe's prime was today, if he had that season today, or what, just doing a whole ratio, he's going to average 40. That's when we bring up the stats and stuff like that. If you're gonna, again, I did bring up what we just saw because again, that tells me when I make my clutch point. Well, clutch time, and again, he's in year 22. Fine, but the fact of the matter is, he was also, see, one thing I say about with you guys, you can't use LeBron's age as both a highlight and a crutch. Because when he's playing he's playing well at 40. Well, when he plays bad, he's 40. You get what you expect. You can't use it as a highlight and a crutch. Because at the end of the day, all of us who are 40 plus, all of us are 40 plus. We go to the court.
Ain't
you doing that with Kobe last year?
Hold up. If we judge Kobe Bryant by year 22, it would be a problem. But then you want to try to reverse when it's about LeBron in year 22. What we say Kobe Bryant just a 17-point scorer and shoots under 40%, because that's what we saw Kobe Bryant do in year 20.
And you bring up the context that he just got torn the Achilles twice. No, I get it. But this is
year 22. That's the context as well.
So
let me ask you this though. But let me ask you this: Did LeBron? Are you saying because he's in his 22nd year, he forgot how to be clutch? Because at the end of the day, again, his team was a team, mind you, the fourth. And I wanted to bring it.
Hold on. When did LeBron forget how to be clutch?
Well, the fact that his team scored 85 points in the fourth quarter of a playoff series. And the fact that he had Luka. Where's the Luka on those? No, let's just do this. But let's just do this. Kobe Bryant, let's say miraculously, the Lakers they get, again, this is a what if, right? This is a hypothetical. But what if Kobe, that last year they get one of the big stars of the league and they get to the playoffs? I just can't see even that version of Kobe. I cannot see them scoring 85 points in a playoff fourth quarter, which again is the most important. Look,
we already did see it. What are you talking about, King Speech? We saw it in the 04 finals.
Are you really saying that Kobe didn't score less than 85 points in a playoff game? Are you really that serious?
So, King Speech, you're saying that you think Kobe would average 40 points today, even thoh we saw him take 27 shots a game in 06 and only average 35?
Okay, all right.
He'd be more efficient on more shots?
Okay, well, look where y'all messed up. You're taking it to 06 when that was the toughest defensive era in the league, right? Now you're here into that where scoring is up league where the worst team in the league scores 110 points. So again, that's why I brought that up, because you're in an era where everybody scores 110, like the worst team in the league scores 110. You're in the league back in 06 with the best team in the league. So if you're going to judge that, and many people believe that the Pistons were one of the best defensive teams all time. So you're judging him, and again, look, the Wolves were a great defensive team. But they're not giving up they're not stifling you to 85 points a game like the 04 Pistons. So that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. And if you look at his team's drop off in this, I use that one. But
in 2012, the Lakers scored 84 points in a game in 2012.
Again, that's still more of a
okay, the same year they scored 75 points in a game.
I mean, again, you're probably gonna look at that. What was league scoring in 2012?
Who was the league
probably
scoring?
Around a 1. I would guess 105.
What did it have to do with him scoring under 85 points? You said Kobe Bryant.
No, well, as I said, for an entire series, they scored 85 points in 60 minutes of fourth quarter basketball. We all can agree that the fourth quarter is the most important part of the game, right?
Are you just saying what he scored in the fourth quarter?
Well, I'm saying what his team scored. What his team scored, yeah. And that's part of look to me.
What his team
Player, say again.
He scores 75 points in a game. That's very low. And that's
What do you mean?
2012.
Yeah, but again, you're talking about a different era. Again, I asked you what was league scoring in 2012
They
because it still
played
was
Oklahoma City. Oklahoma City was not a stifling defensive team.
okay. So they okay. What it was? They won. The OKC won that 4-2, right, or something like that.
I have no idea. I know the Lakers lost, so one
But even
4
making that
to
argument, you're
1.
bringing up just one game, and you also bring,
That's what you're bringing.
no, I
You
brought up a
said
whole
Kobe
series. No,
Bryant
I
would
brought
not
up a
score
whole
under
series.
85 points.
No, I brought up a
The
whole
Lakers lost
series.
4-1.
But I brought up a whole series where I only used the fourth quarter, and that's 85 points in 60 minutes of basketball. So again, what I'm saying is, and you got a guy, and this is with a guy like Luka, with the coach that you handpicked. We all know he handpicked JJ, right?
Can you prove it?
We can't prove that. We can't prove that he handpicked JJ.
That you can't prove.
Okay, all right. Yeah, I mean, the guy was wine drinking and doing a podcast with no coaching experience.
So coaches don't get jobs with no coaching experience. Steve Kerr didn't he get a job with no?
Steve Kerr at least did. The only one that got a coach with no experience at all. Steve Kerr actually was the president of the Phoenix Suns for many years. So he built. That's a higher position than head coach. So at least. Okay. Then Larry Bird was president of the Celtics and got Indiana. So four guys who got it with no coaching experience. But we also, but let's see, Steve Kerr, Jason Kidd, Derek Fisher would defeat my argument because he got it with no head coaching experience as well. Steve Kerr, Larry Bird, Jason Kidd, and Steve Nash. What do those guys kind of have in common?
They played in the triangle.
Oh, they were winning players. They were, point guards, except for Larry Bird, who we all know probably was a point guard at his position, a point forward.
So said they all had in common, and he said they was all point guards except Larry Bird.
Except for JJ Redick, who was more of a shooter, again, media guy, blah, blah, blah.
What was Larry Brown?
Larry Brown coached at every level.
Okay, no, he played, right?
Yeah, of course, he played point guard as well. But when did he get we're talking about guys who got a head coaching job with no coaching experience. Like they weren't even assistants. Like we all know Jason Kidd got the Milwaukee job as soon as he retired from the Knicks, right?
Was Mark Jackson a coach?
Mark Jackson was not a coach. Mark Jackson was in the media. So he's another one. So again, he's all point guard.
I can give you more players who were players and then came off. I mean, I think that's a weak argument to say that JJ didn't have any coaching experience.
Well, I just said my argument was he was handpicked by LeBron. If we're not gonna see if we're not gonna smell the smoke and know that there's a fire somewhere, then okay.
All right.
Didn't Kobe Bryant handpick Phil Jackson for them last 2 championships?
Well, Phil Jackson had 9 rings.
All I ask you.
Of course. You picked the coach that won 9 championships, and this system worked for you.
So he handpicked the coach, right?
Okay, so but that's cool. But the argument is let's go back to what my argument was. If we're gonna what are we blaming for the Lakers scoring 85 points in the fourth quarter of a 5-game playoff series? And that's you got to remember, I'm trying to defeat the clutch point. See, sometimes it's what I use is layered arguments. So if you're gonna say he's clutch, well, in this era where he's still, mind you, they've been making arguments about him being. First of all, he probably will be an All NBA player. So again, he's an All NBA player at 40. That's great, but then he's an All NBA player at 40. And then his team doesn't go.
So I looked up the stats. They scored 104 in the fourth quarters in the 5-game series, and in 2012,
compare that to 85. Yeah.
In 2012, the Lakers scored 105 points in the fourth quarters in that series.
Wait. You said the Lakers scored 105 this year, 104 this year?
105 in 2012 versus Oklahoma City, and the Lakers this year had 104 versus the Timberwolves, and this was when Kobe was
They
in
had 85 in the fourth
2012.
quarter. They had 85. I looked those numbers up personally.
Not you must then you must don't know how to count, right? Because
Hold on.
that's not correct.
Hold on.
Okay.
We got to
So
That
really
is not
fact check
correct.
that.
let's move along because this is getting off tracks. We
That's
done.
definitely not correct.
Debate over. I win. But here's a lesson. We're gonna keep doing this. And like I said, if anyone else, including King Speech, if he wants to rematch with any one of us, he can do it. Here is let me throw up the trivia question real fast here for anyone here. So this is a bit of so listen up. Out of the top 10 players that we always talk about, right? 4 of them have had a playoff series, one or more, where during that entire playoff run, I should say, not series, run, they've attempted on average 27 or more shots per game. Okay? 4 of them. Now, only one of those players have shot under 42% when they've done that. Who was that player and what year? I need the player and year when that happened.
Why you gonna give up
I will
Okay, so
repeat it if you need it.
you said there's a player who
So there's
shot the whole playoff series, right? The whole playoff series,
playoff
not just
run,
one round.
yes, not just one series, the
Okay,
entire run.
okay, all
So,
right.
and it's the top 10
what
players.
you
So there's
mean
4 of
run?
them
You
that
mean
have
up
done it.
until they lost or up until they won?
Well, no,
Because
so
when
it
did you
doesn't.
run
It
the
says
playoff series?
yeah. So it's 4 of them, right? 4 of them have attempted at 27 shots a game at least one time.
What's the
Okay,
minimum amount of games you require for this?
no
What's the
minimum
minimum?
required. It's just
So you can play
however
3
many.
games, and you.
Yeah, no, you can. I mean, it's no minimum required.
Okay, so it could be 3 games basically.
It could be yes.
Okay. Well, I guess we already know Jordan is one of those players.
Yes, we heard. I knew
Of
that from the
course,
We
Jordan's
know
in
start.
it.
Jordan's
Who
one
are
of
the
those
other
players,
3?
and I'm pretty sure Wilt's one of those players.
All right.
If
And
you
then
include Wilt in your top
who had
10,
the worst, the worst shooting percentage and what year though? That's going to be the tricky part.
it couldn't be Jordan because
Kobe, because of
I
this
don't think he had a
cover
playoff
this
series.
debate.
Kobe's not on the list.
Yeah, I wouldn't think Kobe would be on this list.
Surprising, he was almost on the list. He took
Yeah, I
26
wouldn't be
shots
close
one
though.
year with Shaq.
Oh, you talking about Iverson then?
No,
You said
obviously
top
not a
10
top 10 player.
players.
Oh, you see top
No.
10 all-time player.
Yeah, top 10 on time. Just to narrow it
Yeah,
down.
so we have to get Bird and Magic out of there. They didn't shoot the ball a ton.
Mm-hmm.
Hakeem, I don't think he did that ever.
Yeah, King definitely didn't shoot the ball a lot.
See if anyone in the chat gets it.
I mean,
Ooh. Hey, just so everybody know, Denver won.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they
Let's,
sent
Yeah.
back the Clippers.
dude, let's go Denver.
Let's go Denver.
I told you the Clippers gonna clip.
They
I
can't
gotta
help
check
but
out.
themselves.
play
They
good
always
though.
gonna be the Clippers until they change their name.
Clippers
I gotta
play
check
good
out
though.
their.
You don't bet on Kawhi in a game 7.
Okay.
At least he stayed healthy in the playoffs.
Yeah, it was a run round. It's the most games he ever played in the last 2 years, and the
Yes.
last 2 years his teams went further than the first round.
Yeah. And remember, guys, anyone who
Played
gets
more
this
games when
question,
his team lost the first round than he did when his team made it past the first round.
anyone who can get this question, or like go into our Discord just for whatever. And if we don't have anyone spitting, people
It's
can.
top 10, so you got 10
I'm
answers. Not
trying
the
to think of the
bottom one.
last person who did it. I know it would be. I'm pretty sure it would have to be LeBron during
Dude,
that
I had to
run in
comb
Cleveland.
through.
It had to be LeBron because he shot the ball a lot that
But he
last
said
series.
whole
Which
he said whole playoff. He said
well,
whole playoff run. So that's why I didn't think LeBron was a part of that conversation at all.
LeBron in 07.
it had. I don't think he shot that ball that much in '07, but it had to be like when he went back to
His
Cleveland. The
first
only year I could think of was his first year there or his last year there. I'm gonna guess his first because in Golden State he was just shooting the ball everywhere. So it has to be LeBron. I know
2015.
it's one of LeBron years. Wilt and Jordan. And who will be the last one?
Come on, Chad. Are you gonna let one of the
Kareem, I guess.
panelists get it? Oh man.
I didn't
Kareem, I
even.
guess.
I was researching. I didn't even hear the question. Maybe.
Question of Key Speech is there have been 4 consensus top 10 players of all time who've taken at least 27 shots a game on average for an entire playoff run, like the full playoff year. There's four of
Okay.
them, right? Who was it? And there was only one of them though that shot under 42% for that entire run. Who was it and what year?
Gotcha.
I mean, the only thing I think of is LeBron in 2015, but I don't know who
Oh,
that
you
fourth player
bastard!
is.
You got it.
I
That's
don't know
it.
who that fourth player
That's
is.
it.
Ron. Wow.
B Lee just
Who was the
taking it from
fourth
the
player?
people.
Wait.
I didn't think it. I didn't think it was 20. I mean, I thought he might have shot that much in 2015, but I didn't think so.
Yep, B Lee. It's LeBron in 2015 under about 41%.
He did. Well,
Who is that fourth player though?
The other third was Mike, Will, and Kareem.
Kareem. I thought it might be Kareem. I wasn't sure about it though.
You're right.
And
About
see
all of it.
that's a great stat, Tpefect, because it takes away your efficiency argument. Because when you took away LeBron's other two guns, where they were, I know Love was hurt for most of that playoffs, and then Kyrie was hurt in the finals. Yeah, he had to take more shots, but at a less efficient clip, and he shot with 38.9
Yeah,
for the final.
he was basically shooting what prime Kobe was.
Yeah, and that's stats in context because if that I wouldn't see me personally. I don't kill guys for shooting that way because that's what the game dictates, right?
Well, here's the thing. I'm never going to kill Kobe for doing that because he shot dictated, but Kobe also was not very good at choosing his shot selection. He didn't make a shot that he didn't like. Obviously, he had no choice sometimes, but LeBron is very measured, especially because he's better from three level scorer than Kobe Bryant ever was, especially from three. And he's much better at running the offense, dictating the flow, and that's the one thing that Kobe was guilty of sometimes, and not just that's by his own admission, by Coach Phil Jackson's admission, by his teammates' admission. I mean, he was a good tough shot maker, but he was never to the point where he was one of the top 10 scorers of all time.
And that was one of the things. He was a good clutch shot maker, and sometimes look. This is all subjective. When he made those tough shots. That's why they called it a Mamba, because it would kill it. Like a team could play perfect defense, and then Kobe's now getting those clutch, those crazy, impossible fall away shots. That remember, you talk about some of these games where scoring 100 points, the first team to 95 might have won the game. And
for sure, but you're not taking Kobe over like a bunch of other guys because of the score. The goal is to effectively score the ball. I don't care how pretty it looks. You're not taking him over people who are 7, 8, 9, 10% more efficient than him, especially from three. You're not taking him over Durant.
That perfect world type of stuff. And
you're not taking him over anyone. Like you're not taking him over Shaq. You're not taking him over Braun. You're not taking him over like someone like James Harden. You're not taking him over.
Yeah, I mean, but see, then again, all right, but see again, okay. One of the things that I learned tonight, right? I saw it before, but I just reiterated. The Shaq said it himself. I'm going to play my way into shape, and see, this is again. I'm gonna play my way into shape during the season. Kobe, you carry it low during the season to get us to the 60, the 55, 60 wins, whatever they won. Get us our seed. Then we got then come playoff. I'll be ready. You'll be ready. Blah blah blah. That's the midst of their beef. Kobe said, "Well, look, if you're going to keep doing this, and now you're falling off." And again, that was the whole thing with West. So when you say, I mean, with Dr. Bus said, "Well, look, you're getting older. You're falling off. I'm taking Kobe." And Kobe was like, "It's either him or me." We all know that's what famously broke up the Shaq Kobe dynasty.
Well,
and again,
most players back in those days didn't get into shape into training camp. Most players use training camp to get in shape.
Mm-hmm. But Shaq took it another level, and he admitted this. I wouldn't worry about getting in shape till January. Like I was, Shaq was that good that he could be, he started coming in at 340, 330, 350. And then I was by January, I'll be at my
Speech, where do you have Kobe ranked all time? Because I think he's number 10.
I got him number 7. And one of the reasons I do is because, and I got him 2 spots ahead of Shaq. Number 1, because of the extra championship. But number 2, that's one reason why Shaq is not top 5. Because he got to that part of his career and just got lazy.
He got Bron at 8.
And I got LeBron 8, yeah. So 7, 8, 9. And I got it's a razor thin margin. And again, I really, that's the other thing I
Bronny
told
James at 8.
Yeah,
LeBron James at 8. Yes, I do.
you heard
Okay.
his great argument for that just now.
All right. So
Oh,
so so
one
what
other thing
is
we
How you
got to
your
got
do,
Bronny
D-Lee.
James
what
at
is
8?
your
He only in the league.
criteria for why LeBron
D-Lee.
is 8? I really want to know.
Say
Oh
again?
God.
I really want to know.
Because I have, again, my top 5 is Kareem, Magic, Wilt, Russell, and MJ. No
Okay.
particular order right
Yeah.
there.
Get
Right?
Magic out of there.
That's fine. But
Why
why?
does
That's
Magic
what
get?
I want to
I
know.
need to
Why?
understand why Magic is out of there.
Why would you put LeBron James number 8? I really want to know why. What
How you
makes
got the
those
teammates
other
on? How
players
you
so
got
much
2
better than
teammates
him?
on the top 5?
Yeah.
Well,
Why do
those
you
two
have those
teammates.
players rank so high? Like, what's your criteria?
So my criteria is being dominant in the league. Right? You've got to be dominant. All my top 8 were all dominant for a good point, at least about 4 or 5 years.
How is
They were.
Magic more dominant than LeBron?
And so, are you saying being dominant for like how long? Like, what does dominant look to you?
So let's just say this: you're at least a top 3 player.
A top
You're at
three
least a top
players.
3
Okay.
player. At least top 3.
So
Magic was a
as
top
long
3
as you
player.
like,
Go ahead.
hold on, wait. What about as long as you had like all NBA first team player, top 5?
That's fair. And I mean,
Okay,
some
yeah,
years
fair.
you might not get it. But see, here's the thing.
Yeah.
I hate to do that because some years you might not get it because of the way the league played out that year, or some guy could have had a great year that the media loved. So you can have a guy that never won more than 45 games get all NBA first team over you, but you're winning championships. Can I now knock you out of the top 5? That's kind of crazy. See, I don't look at it as a year-to-year thing. I look at it as cumulative. Like, it's almost like I was saying before. It's almost like being the top contender to the heavyweight championship, right? If some guys will be a top contender because they're good. They fight. They win most of the fights that they win. Blah blah blah. But then who has the belt? Well, who has the belt is the guy who wins the big match that year or
So
whatever.
it doesn't matter.
All right,
You got to knock it.
It doesn't hurt
okay.
Magic's
So you're
ranking.
saying like dominant. So you have to be dominant. So
Mhm.
what else? You have to be dominant for a certain period
You
of
have to
time.
be
What else?
dominant. You have to be dominant. You have to be a winner. You have to
A winner?
you can average 35 points on a 35 win team. Okay, you're top 10, you're top 15 maybe, but you're not up there until if you can't with your dominant stats win or at least lead a team to the second round of the playoffs. Well, what am I considering?
All right.
Who has
So
35
it's
points
the
for
ceiling
35?
like conference, like make it to like the conference finals or the second round.
What do you
Okay.
mean?
Wait. I smell.
Like,
This is a
how is
great way.
winning
This is a great
looking to
segment.
you? Like winning, like going to the second round or going to the finals or winning the title. Like, what is it just like winning games, winning playoff games? Is that what it is? Like when you say winning,
Winning. Okay, number 1, have a winning record. Number 2, perform in the playoffs. We
record.
all know
Okay.
we all know a great could get knocked out in the first round, at like what happened here. When you either run into a better team or you just run into certain a key injury. Like, I'm not gonna kill a guy because
Just
somebody got
like
injured.
Jordan averaging 37, but lost in like the first round. That doesn't mean Jordan was trash.
At
That just
the
means he
big,
lost
but
because we
no,
lost
at
to
the
something.
big, yeah, and you're right. At the beginning of his career against all-time great teams,
So King
that's all
Speech,
the context.
it doesn't hurt Kareem's status that he only really found consistent success when Magic was there, and Kareem was losing Finals MVPs and MVPs to his teammates and winning rings as like the third best watch from. That doesn't knock him down here, even though that never happened to LeBron.
But see, this is my thing. Why would it not? Like, we all know that in 1980, that Kareem was the most dominant player in that series until he turned his ankle, right? And we all know that they gave Magic the award because they wanted the award winner to receive it on
In
TV.
87, 88, and 89, when Magic and Worthy were the number
Well,
one
well,
options.
if you're gonna say that, then then Kareem won it in '85. Okay, like what am I gonna do? See, right here's the thing. There's another debate I had in the Go Chain Kingdom room. Kareem at that point was 40, 41, and 42. He got to the finals all 3 years. Now, to say that he lost it to his teammate, well, that's what are we doing there? Number one, I can tell you that Kareem was not even a top 10 player at that part of his career. Why
He
would
wasn't the best
not
player on his own
James
team.
be?
But
Say
you're
again?
using his accomplishment as a non-top 10 player to make for those years to make him a top 10 player all time.
No, what I'm going to do is I'm going to
Yeah,
look
you
at the.
literally just said it.
No, 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 no.
Why is
Wait.
Kareem in your top 5?
Okay, see, I think here we go. At that point, why is Kareem my top 5? Because he dominated the 70s. He was a dominant player in the 70s. Now, was he winning every year? No, again, that's context. You can't win every year if you don't have the team.
Well,
See,
he won once in the
Oh,
70s, right?
he
He won
won.
once
He
in the
won.
70s,
He
right?
won in. He won in 70.
So,
He won in 72.
70 like two. Yeah,
He won in
72. Then again
72.
in 80. Then the
And then
next
he
one in
won it.
80.
The next time he won, it was in 80. Of course, again, he did.
He won a
Look.
title, and did he even win another one for like almost a decade, 8-year stretch?
Are we okay? So 8-year stretch. So then am I killing LeBron for not winning? Because remember,
Hey,
if I'm
Mike never played 8
hold
years
on.
without winning a title.
Yes, it takes. See, that's the thing. It takes a lot to win a championship. You got to have
and
a
you said
perfect
Will was
storm.
your top 5, right?
Yes.
Well, what's
All
my
right.
thing?
So,
Go ahead.
all right. So, King Speech, is there anything else to why you rate people above LeBron? Like, have them so low, and these players are so better because they were better
I
You
think
have
longer
Will
than
your top
LeBron.
5.
They were winning
yeah,
more than
again,
LeBron.
Will
They performed
owns the
better
record.
in the
Will
playoffs than
owns the
LeBron.
record book. Okay, Will owns the record books when most of the records, like most of the stat, like there's no block. Imagine if it was blocks and steals. I mean, like
No,
You thought it wasn't
Will
about
still
stats.
owns. Say again.
Thought it wasn't about
It's not
stats.
about stats. It's about goal stats. What he think he has. There's a
Well,
difference.
it's what he has. What I can look at the record book and see. I can look at the record book and see 30 rebounds a game. I can look at the rebound record books and see him go 24 rebounds a game in the finals. The one thing that it says Will, right?
Who
And
owns
again,
the
one thing
record
to say
books
Will.
now?
Go ahead. Say again.
Who owns the record books now?
No, there's records that LeBron will never touch that Will have. And
Okay,
again,
you said
a
he
lot
owns the record books. I said, who owns the record books now?
it's still Will.
No,
It's still
it's
Will.
LeBron now, bro. It's
This is
How
LeBron
LeBron
much?
by
now.
far.
Wait. Does LeBron own rebounds all time? Rebounds per game?
Oh, he won
Rebounds.
points all time.
Yes, I mean to do
He
that.
owns points all time, something that Wilt never had. So Will had it until Kareem took it. So
Will did have it. He did have it.
okay, yeah, he
Will
did it
did
until
have it.
Kareem took it from him. But again, okay, so he has points all time. But then if I go in points per game, points in a game, I mean, look, the 9 of the top 10 scoring
He
games.
wasn't winning.
Again, points per game in a season. See, okay. LeBron has all-time
You said it,
numbers.
not me. I'm going by your logic. You said
See,
it's all about winning.
no, see, y'all try. What it is
records is winning.
I think I'm trying to prove to you guys that I use the total body of work. The total body of work.
I'm trying to see what else is in there because you only gave me 3. You got to be a top 3 player for a period of time. You have to have a winning record.
Was Will ever in the league and not a top 3 player?
So with King Speech, you're saying that someone who has the most All NBAs of all time, the most points of all time, he's going to be top 5 in like 4 of the major categories. That guy's not a top 5 player of all time?
No.
Top 8.
Yeah,
Why is John Stockton out of your top 5?
We really need to know.
Well, again, if we're going to do that, okay, John Stockton owns 2 stats, right? 2 is the 5 stats: points, rebounds, assists, and blocks, right?
Yeah, how many MVPs does Stockton have? And Finals MVPs?
0. See, that's what I'm saying. Now you're throwing other. See, you're throwing other factors into the argument. He has no rings, though, so obviously Stockton is down. But if we're going to do stats, Stockton has steals and assists at such a high level. It probably
that's
won't
why
be
it's
broken.
about balance, dude. It's not about just one thing.
No,
that's
see,
why
but you're not realizing I am balancing it. I am balancing. When I say Will owns the record book,
please let us know because this is screaming LeBron James. So what else is in your criteria?
You're saying it screams LeBron James, but okay, LeBron James checks a lot of boxes. There's no doubt about it. Let's just
remove LeBron. Let's just get to your criteria why he's why other players are superior to him. Like, what's the reason? That's what we want to know.
Okay, if I'm gonna look at it, you say record, you say all-time records. Well, again, Will owns more all-time records than any other player.
So
that is
all-time
fact.
records included. Okay.
So when you say all-time records, I mean points in a game, rebounds in a game. All of these are categories. If you go and look in Basketball Reference, what are these all-time records? Well, you're going to see Wilt's name more than anybody else. You're going to see him more than 50% of the time.
Okay, the most records. So the most records. Okay. Okay, so that's four things that you listed. And
Okay.
it just okay, I'm ready.
Okay, so let's do this. Let's do this. Because Wilt might be the most inconsistent guy. Will you want me to make a Wilt versus LeBron quick comparison?
No, we want to know your criteria. What?
Okay, so
Because you
my
say LeBron's
criteria
8.
looks at everything. My criteria looks at a whole bunch of things. Number one, again, Stockton has the assists and steals so high that probably won't be broken.
Okay, let's
So
just give us
we
the
all
reason.
collectively.
We don't have to talk about Stockton. Just your reasons to your categories.
Categories. Well, what I'm looking at is dominant teams. If you don't have a dominant team, that's good. Then I'm going to also look at your worst teams, and I'm going to look at the context in that. Again, I put Kobe down. A lot of guys will have Kobe in the top 5. Because he had the losing season in the prime of his career, and he had only one losing season. He went 42-40 with Smush Parker and Chris Mem and Brian Cook and Lamar Odom, right? And then he went 45-37. But then he got Gasol. The next thing you know, they're on top of the league. Well, I'm actually, the fact that he had a losing season. Larry Bird didn't have one losing season. Larry Bird didn't have one losing season of his 13, right? So Larry Bird was pretty much, again, you come on.
So do you have Bird over LeBron?
I do have LeBron. I have Bird over Kobe as well. So that's Bird is my 6.
Do you have Bird over Jordan?
I have him over Shaq, Craig. Do I have Bird over Jordan? No. Where does my go?
Losing seasons than LeBron and Kobe, I believe.
Okay,
yeah, he does.
But Jordan has the 6 championships. Jordan also has the domination of a you know what I'm saying? See, these are the tiebreakers.
What about Bill?
Bill. Okay, now Bill Russell. I'm glad you brought up Bill Russell.
This is you gotta understand. I'm sorry. This is pushing Jordan out of the top 5.
I think what you guys are trying to do, you're trying to make I have one single criteria. I only, I can bring
listen to your criteria.
Say again. I'll put it this way. Do I have a bum in my top 10? Do I have a guy that I like this guy? Let me put him in the top 10.
He ranked Steph Curry at 5. He ranked Steph Curry at 5.
No, I don't rate Steph Curry 5.
You said that on Go James Kingdom.
Did you say Steph in your top 10 too?
No, he got him in the top 5.
Who, me?
Yes.
No, you don't.
No, I don't. Because even in this debate, I said that.
He led a dynasty, remember? Because remember, dynasty was
no.
That was bad news.
You're not getting it. You guys keep trying to keep. I have 10 criteria, 10 things that I look at what GOAT should do.
Okay,
right?
I have 6 so far. I have 6 so far. You got four more.
So what list the 6 that I have? Number 1, you got to be dominant. First, you got to be
dominant. You have to have a winning record. You have
winning record, a great team.
Seasons.
Great team.
You have to have great teams. Okay.
If you want to dock Jordan for the beginning of his career, you got to dock LeBron too. If that's pretty stupid to knowing that LeBron was drafted to a team with Ricky
saying it, not us. We didn't say this. That's what you said.
But see, again, it's context and everything. No one, if you're in this, and especially in this era of the NBA, you get drafted to a team that's a lottery, and now you get drafted at 18, 19. Did we expect a guy at 19 to come in and make a team 45? Matter of fact, if that's the case, if my criteria is that, then why in the same season that Melo was drafted with LeBron, Melo led a team to a winning record in the West, and LeBron led a team to a losing record in the West. Yet LeBron got
not one of us brought that up, but you. So you're arguing against yourself.
You are bringing it up because when you want to say, then I should dock Jordan for having a losing record.
That's what you said. Okay. I said, well, you have to dock Jordan.
Here's the only criteria that matters. Okay, it's all about we don't have to dock players in order to boost our players, but LeBron has the most balanced.
I'm going to dock.
LeBron has the most balanced resume in NBA history. He's top 4 in MVPs, top 4 in Finals MVPs. He's top 3. He has the most All-NBA selections. He's top 4 or 5 in all defensive selections. He has the longest prime of all time. He has a top 3 peak of all time. He's doubled anyone else's productive prime. He has the most playoff wins in NBA history. He has like the second most finals appearances in NBA history. He has like one of the highest winning percentages in playoff history. Like you're not going to make an argument that, like there's nobody who checks more boxes than LeBron James if we're just talking about
Great.
accomplishments and numbers put together.
But great. See, everything you just listed, right? Every single category you just listed, somebody beats him in every single one of them. So
But not
you can
consistently.
Say,
That's why
you can
he's
say,
won.
right. You can say balance. Hold on. You can say balance.
How someone beat them?
Okay. You said LeBron has what? Okay, you said LeBron. Okay, the only thing he is the most total points, right?
Okay.
So total
He also
points,
has like a top 4 scoring average of all time.
top 4. Okay, somebody has more points, scoring average, right? 3
Okay.
guys have more scoring average. See, what I'm trying to get you to understand, right? You say he has a balanced resume, but then there's somebody that beats him and significantly in each one of those categories.
Yeah, but they're not going to be better across the board than he is, King Speech. That's what balance means.
Him in the same category.
You know what balance means, right?
See, yeah, I know balance, but then that.
No, that's
okay,
what he means by balance. You can't be
He
number
made a
1 in everything,
criteria.
but if you top 3, there's other players that's going to be the top 3, but it's not the same players.
Of course.
One
Then if you,
top 3 in 3 different categories.
okay,
You can have 2 players.
Great.
Top 3.
So here's why the Magic Johnson thing, Key Speech, is ridiculous. Because like, let's take Magic Johnson's a better passer, right? Okay, great. He's not a better rebounder, scorer, a defender.
No. Magic was a better rebounder, sir. Magic was a better rebounder, sir. First of all, rebounding at the guard position. Are we going to tell me that the Magic wasn't a better rebounder? Okay, put it this way. Again, everything. Okay, let's just say I concede you the rebounder. First of all, Magic had a better assist to turnover ratio. Okay. Magic was clearly the better playmaker. Magic could clearly make. Magic doesn't have a losing season. Not even close to having a losing season. LeBron does. Now, matter of fact, LeBron has 4 losing seasons. See, this is what I'm saying. Once you start individually comparing guys, well, okay, yeah. What am I going to dock?
Everything you said that makes Magic better than Jordan. I'm better than LeBron. It makes Magic better than Jordan. Everything you said.
No. Because Magic is my favorite player. Once Jordan got to the 6 rings, I couldn't do it anymore. I couldn't give him it anymore. You gotta understand when Jordan won the second three-peat, right? No, okay. Russell has the 8. Again, that's context to that. There's context to that. He had the 8 with all the Hall of Famers around him with a team that didn't break up because of no free agency. Yeah, he has 11. He had 11, 13. He's the greatest winner of all time, and I have him as my number 3 player because
King Speech, your mic.
Yeah, your mic went real low.
Hold on 1 second.
I mean, you're saying that it's just like you're saying that it's better that he's a better passer, but everything else LeBron clears him in, including overall resume. And so, but somehow he's higher than LeBron because he's a better passer.
Well, if I'm going to look at a guy with 5 championships, 3 Finals MVPs in only 12 years.
Yeah. So LeBron has more Finals MVPs,
more time. But wait a minute, in more time. And again, Magic got to 9 Finals in 12.
Yeah,
okay,
Magic
what
had
do
the
you
most
guys do? What do you know? What are one of the things? Well, Magic got to 9 Finals. Only 3 times he didn't get to the Finals. Well, LeBron got to 10 Finals. There's 12 times he didn't. We see again. That's kind of silly to do.
Yeah, Magic only played 12 years.
If getting to the finals was a criteria, then Magic is number 1 of all time. Getting to it 75% of your career.
Why would that be a criteria?
But that's not my only criteria. I'm looking at a balance of things. So when you sit there and say, look, he has a balance, great. You're right. He does have a balance resume. He does have balance. And maybe, see, once I get into the negatives and where I dock LeBron for actually having teams that are disappointing, for having teams that were preseason ranked in the top 5.
What's your negative for Magic Johnson?
Say again?
What are your negatives for Magic Johnson?
Okay, the lack of defensive, all the NBA defensive team. It's crazy to say Magic couldn't defend. Magic wasn't a lockdown defender, but Magic did have an impact on defense. Evidenced by the fact that he led the league in steal twice.
He's 6'9", and the average guard he was guarding was 5 feet.
Well, I mean, yeah, you would you switch. A lot of time it was Scott taking a quick guard. Magic will take a small forward or whatever. Magic will guard up on a. Let's say they play the Celtics. He's going to probably guard Bird or the Ainge or the shooting guard more than he's guarding DJ or.
So your context is Magic was a point guard who guarded small forwards, and then you tried to say why is LeBron a better rebounder than Magic when Magic played the point guard when he was actually guarding small.
I don't even believe
he was actually guarding small forwards like LeBron was guarding small forwards. So the rebound argument, I was waiting on somebody to make that because Magic guarded small forwards.
Magic averaged 7.2 rebounds per game in his career.
He averaged who?
7.2. LeBron probably averages
more.
Magic actually averaged 9.6 in one season.
Oh, I mean, he's a better rebounder. I mean, you contradict yourself.
Are you going to tell me he's a better rebounder because he averaged 23 more?
Yes.
Who had more triple doubles?
LeBron.
LeBron has more triple doubles than Magic. Are you sure?
Magic has more. All right. So yeah, let's go ahead and finish this. Just give us your last couple of points on this criteria you have.
Okay. So again.
Okay.
I mean, I'm naming off some of the criteria as I go. I don't remember what I necessarily listed.
I could go. You said.
Go ahead. Yeah, bring back to me. Bring back to me.
Number one is being dominant for years at a time. Winning ball in the regular season playoffs. You have to perform well in the playoffs as well. Most records. You have to subtract the losing seasons. You have to have rings as a requirement. You have to have. You said again the team playoff runs. You have to make it far. You just can't lose in the first round, even if you do perform well. And that's
look, Duncan lost in the first round. Am I going to kill him when he's been to how many other finals? Right?
Yeah, you have to have many playoff runs. You have to have great teams. So that's 7. Is that all in your criteria?
So okay, you also have to have have to lead the league in a certain particular stat. You have to be good at what you're doing. Let's put your point guard. How many times did Magic lead the league in how many times did Magic lead the league in assists? Probably like
stats. Okay, lead the league in stats. Lead the league in a category.
Yo, I'm about to drop off. I'll see y'all tomorrow.
Okay,
he's great.
Right.
Thanks, man. He's great.
Anything else? Anything else? Before we end this. Anything else before we end this?
Yeah. That's pretty much it. That's pretty much it. So you're looking at about 8. Right. You're looking at 8, and I'm gonna if you have disappointing teams, if you have teams that underperform, if you have teams that overperform, right? Obviously, expectations is different when you have great teammates. The reason why Dominique never got to a conference finals. Well, he didn't have. But now I'm gonna actually look and see how good that was Dominique overall. But he's not in my top 10, top 20.
All right. So I put your criteria in Chat GPT just so you're aware.
Okay.
So I'm gonna start with 10. So number 10 was Larry Bird. You had him as 6.
Okay.
Number 9 is Steph Curry. I'm not sure if you had him in your top 10.
No, I didn't.
Okay. Number 8 is Shaq.
Okay. That's actually right on the money.
I think you said you had Shaq
I said Shaq at 9. I had Shaq at 9.
9. Okay, 9. Okay. You got Kobe. Kobe at 7. I think that's where you had Kobe.
Okay.
So then you got Magic at 6.
I had Magic at 5.
Bill Russell at 5. So your criteria is almost on point. So Bill Russell at 5. I think you had him at 4, right?
Got him at 3.
3. Okay. Tim Duncan is 4.
Yeah. Yeah. There's more to it why I take Tim Duncan out, but okay.
You have Kareem. Well, they have Kareem at 3 with your criteria.
Okay.
They have Michael Jordan as number 2 with your criteria. and the person who you believe is the GOAT with your criteria is LeBron James.
It goes the same way.
I love ChatGPT. I love ChatGPT.
I know you have 21 seasons of dominance. He has the all-time record for a leading scorer, the most All NBA selections, most All Stars. So he has a lot of those records that you're talking about. In the regular season and the postseason, he leads in so many different stats all time for records.
Oh
He's made
boy, oh
the
boy,
playoffs
oh boy.
16 times. This is actually kind of old because his stats are not updated like everyone else's. So he should be even further. So he
Which
has
is
made
funny.
the
Oh,
playoffs
you know what you didn't
multiple
put in Chat
times, finals
GPT?
multiple
Record
times,
books.
fewest losing seasons, massive statistical longevity. So your GOAT is LeBron James.
Thank you.
LeBron James has 4
So
losing seasons. What does Chat
your GOAT
GPT think?
is LeBron James. He has
LeBron
few
James.
losing
Okay,
seasons out of 22.
one last thing, Billy, and one last thing.
Yeah,
17 plus 13 plus 20 plus 23 plus 16. What? Put that in a calculator. Tell me what that gives you.
I don't even know what that supposed to mean, but you said he
But
has
you said
four
no, because you
losing
said the
seasons.
Lakers scored
So
105 in the fourth quarters. I just looked them
yeah,
up again. They scored 17 in game 1, 13 in game
no,
2,
they
20
they
in game
they did
3.
not. They did not. They scored 23 in the fourth quarter in game one.
Are you sure you're not
They
looking at
scored 20.
Minnesota's?
Okay, let me go back to it. Let me go back to it. Uh, this is game one in the fourth quarter. Maybe I was looking at the
Minnesota.
Minnesota's. Yep, it's 17. Yeah,
17, 13,
17.
20,
So they scored 85.
23,
Okay.
and 16. Those were their four. They scored 85 points in the fourth quarters. And Minnesota scored 134.
Okay, I was probably looking at the wrong thing. Okay,
Who
Okay.
that's
cares,
cool.
dude?
That's
We
cool.
we make mistakes. It's all
Yeah,
good.
that's
It's all
cool.
good.
But yeah, I know, but all I know is you believe LeBron James is the GOAT. So that's all that matters. So
No, no, no,
we
no.
could go ahead. Yes,
Yeah.
that's just your criteria. So we,
Your
we could go
criteria
ahead and we
thing.
could go
No,
ahead
you
and
know what you
end
did. You
this.
know what you
Look,
left out?
end
Record
this
books.
live.
I forget you left out
Records. I
records
did put
because
records in
Wilt
there,
is
and
not
LeBron James
there,
has
and
both
Wilt owns
records.
the records.
He did
Will
put record
by
books in
your
there.
by your criteria is not in there because of his playoff winning success. I'm pretty sure that's one of the reasons he's not.
Also, he was a playoff lower.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
There's a
Lower.
reason
yeah.
for that as well. There's
His
context to it as
rings,
well, but you
his
know,
No,
we'll get
always
rings,
into it.
context, right?
his
He
rings
has
and
a
everything.
68 win team
Playoff
and
runs
he has
like
a
the
68
things
win
that
team
you
and a
listed.
69 win team.
The things that you well, that's he played 14 years. So the things that you listed is the reason why Will is not in your top 10 and why
Yeah, but
LeBron James is your GOAT.
you didn't include the
I
records.
yeah,
Most
I
records
know. I did
favoring.
include records. I did include records in the regular season and postseason, and you said playoff runs. That's why they said LeBron James went to 10 finals and 16 playoffs, even though he's been more in the postseasons than that.
Ooh, 6
But
non-playoff years? Oh, they didn't count this one yet.
they probably haven't counted this one yet. But he has
Gotcha.
18 playoff runs, I believe. But then again, LeBron James, you go. Thanks for letting us know your criteria. I really appreciate it.
I love ChatGPT. Yo, good debate, guys. Salute.
All right.
Salute, man.
All right. So we go ahead and get out of here. John, Travis, you guys have anything to say before we head out?
Nope, I'm clean. I love that you did the chat GTTPT today. I
Yeah.
love you.
Yeah.
Actually was trying to do it on Go Change Kingdom last week, so you've
Yeah,
been waiting.
Peter and King Speech GOAT is LeBron. I'm
Yeah.
very happy. Every time they come on, we're gonna let them know who their GOAT is.
The only thing I'll say is thanks for the chat for showing up. And again, thanks for the judges who witnessed that light work. And again, hopefully we have
Travis
some more.
1-0 so far. Travis
Yeah.
1-0 so far. So
Hey,
so
1-0 on
y'all
the
have to
first
step up and challenge him.
first
I got to
official
step up and challenge him.
first official day. I invite everyone to go to our Discord too. Since Beely got the trivia question, everyone can flood the Discord and say if you guys want to debate one of us or just have a topic you want us to chop up, feel free to let us know. Otherwise, great show. Hope you enjoyed yourselves.
Brandon giving out.
All right, all right, guys. We up out of here. Oh yeah, John, you got anything to say before we get out?
No, you giving out rounds. You're such a nice person, Brandon.
Oh, no, I had to give him one. I had to give him one.
That's true.
I
You
had
son
to
of a bitch.
mess it up.
All right, guys.
All right, guys.
I'll
We'll
see
see y'all
y'all tomorrow.